how the fuck can you trust someone you have never met, never seen? How, if I want to hook up, for example, right?
When we were dating in our teens and 20s and even in our 30s today, being charming was so important. And today, you've got to make like one joke, and if the girl laughs, then you've picked her up.
Hi, Kunal.
Hi, Kunal. Hi, buddy. You know, say hi to your phone.
Hi, I fidget with my friends' phones. Like, they have the apps, so I'm just like, nah.
And I'm guessing it didn't come through.
It did come through.
And
that's when I deleted it, because I actually didn't believe that it could happen.
I met her at the airport and I hugged her thinking it's another friend of mine. So it got even more awkward. Given a tight, full-on hug. She's like, what up, creep?
And it turned out to be nice.
Hello. What's up, guys? I'm your host with the most, Chinmay Sharma, aka Scubachino, and welcome to our shiny new podcast called Wokish. Now, today's topic is, are dating apps killing old school romance? And we have a very cool panel. I'm going to introduce all of them quickly. So if a Boy Next Door had a poster, it would probably be a young Brad Pitt. But this is the best we could get. This is Taaruk. What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? Thank you for having me.
Good to see you. Next to him is a very young entrepreneur, Pari, who does not like to be called by her full name, so I'm not going to tell you what it is. Pari, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm hoping your volume goes a little higher than this at
Yeah,
the
for
end.
sure.
Okay. And to my right corner is the guy who signs all my checks. Very famously known for once firing an entire room for his Diet Coke being too cold. The scary part is half that story is actually true. It's Subir Bajaj, ladies and gentlemen. And right at the end is somebody I've literally met 10 minutes back. So do you want to give yourself an introduction, since I don't know much about you?
You put me on the spot right now.
Because she said she doesn't like to be called in between things. Anushi is figuring life out. And guys, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Now, today's topic is dating apps killing old school romance. First of all, I want to ask, are all of you guys on dating apps? I want to start with you, Suvir.
No.
Have you ever been on any dating apps?
Yes, I have.
Can you name them?
I've experimented with dating apps for 3 months.
Okay.
I went on to Hinge and Bumble.
Hinge and Bumble.
That's right.
Good, bad, worked out?
Well, that's what we're here to chat about. But yeah, I'll tell you my experiences shortly.
Okay. How about you?
I do use them. I'm on Hinge and Bumble.
Hinge and Bumble.
Right.
No one likes Tinder, clearly.
I feel like there's just too many options on Tinder, and
Fair enough.
it's not. I think Hinge and Bumble is more filtered.
Okay.
In terms of.
I don't use them. I've downloaded it once for a day. I didn't use it after that.
So, Taaruk, you used it for a day.
I didn't actually use it. I downloaded it. I saw people. I kind of got overwhelmed by this whole. I was like, oh my god, am I really just saying yeah? Like, and I was like, nahi hoga.
Was there any sort of swiping in that one day?
I swiped once.
And I'm guessing it didn't come through.
It did come through.
And
that's when I deleted it, because I actually didn't believe that it could happen. and like, but I fidget with my friends' phones. Like, they have the apps, so I'm just like, nah. But that's fun.
And
So I've been on Hinge.
okay.
And I think it was a coincidence, but the first date I went on, I'm dating him at the moment. And it's been a good experience, I would say so.
1 second. And the first guy that you matched with?
I wouldn't say first guy I matched with, but the first person I actually met
Right.
through the app is now.
Your boyfriend?
Yeah.
You don't have to be so shy about it. It's, like a secret, it's not a secret relationship,
No,
right?
it's not.
You look at the camera and tell us his name and give him a message. Tell him I love you. Have you guys said I love you yet?
Yeah.
Oh shit, okay. Hi.
Oh.
You want to say hi to him?
Don't put me
You're going to
on.
watch this?
Hi, Kunal.
Hi, Kunal. Hi, buddy. You know, say hi to your boyfriend. Right, Taaruk, I'm going to ask you this, brother.
Sure.
Since you haven't used a lot of these apps, do you think for people your age and slightly younger, I mean, you are what, 27? 27
Yeah,
odd?
I'm 27.
Do you think it's become too easy with these apps?
I mean, it's about time that it was easy, right? Like, to be honest, like, it's... Why can't it be easy? Our whole lives are passed thinking about the fact that it's so difficult. Now that they've made it easy,
Right.
now some people have a problem that it's easy.
So forgive me, bro. I'm one of those people. I love the old school romance, the back and forth, the chasing, and I think Suvir is of the same age group as I am.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come to you about that. Pari, I'm going to quickly ask you, since you found love on this dating app. Do you think it was too easy? Since I'm sure you had boyfriends before the dating apps came.
Yeah.
I think this has become slightly easier.
For sure.
It has, right?
'Cause, I mean, you meet to sort of see if it's going in that direction or not. It's not like when you meet someone organically, you sort of, you don't know if it's going to happen or going to happen. You know what I mean?
And what was your first date? With, hi Kunal, from Hinge.
We just went on a drive.
On a drive?
Yeah.
You like that? Yeah. Allow a drive is a yeah. How about you, Suvir?
I feel like the culture of dating has changed, right? Now, online dating has become a part of pop culture, right? In shows that we watch, everyone's online dating and swiping and so on and so forth. So when we were in college and then through our 20s, etc., and for me, even in my 30s now, because I don't use apps, dating is about getting along with someone when you meet them, right? You could meet someone at a bar, you could meet someone at a friend's birthday, at a party, socially. A lot of people meet at work. So you meet people in the real world and you establish real life connections because you don't have the privilege of hiding behind a screen. Now, at least what I pick up from pop culture and from friends who actively date online and through a lot of very interesting Instagram accounts like Tinder blog and Tinder fashions and all. It's so funny because on one hand, like when we were dating in our teens and 20s and even in our 30s today, being charming was so important. Being a good conversationalist was so important. And today, you've got to make like one joke and if the girl laughs, then you've picked her up. Right? You use emojis to convey yourself or your emotions or your feelings without being who you truly are. And people don't even know who's hiding behind that screen. So I feel like the culture of dating has completely changed from what you and I had or experienced while we were growing up in college and in our 20s. I don't necessarily think it's harder or easier. Like for someone like me, I definitely say it's much harder because
harder.
Because I'm a good conversationalist. I like to believe I'm a good conversationalist. I can sit down and have a good conversation with you. And if you find me interesting, you'd be like, hey dude, let's get a beer. If you don't, you'd be like, okay, cool. But I can't sit and do the texting and hiding behind a screen and then thinking 5 times about what to type and what acronym means what and what abbreviation means what. And that generation, I mean, this generation is obsessed with it.
Right.
So I find that I can't speak this language and therefore it's harder for me. But that's a cultural thing.
Did Kunal woo you apart from just you guys met on the app and then you went for that lovely drive? I don't know, was it lovely?
Yeah, it was
Where did you drive to? Just around. Okay. Just it wasn't like a let's go to Lonavala and have cold coffee and come back.
No.
Okay.
It was during lockdown, so it was like Bombay confined.
Right.
Also, statistically, I'm sure that there's a 50% probability that one of them will be vegan, so there's no cold coffee.
Oh shit!
Actually, right.
Oh, no way.
God damn it, wow, the mic went, got excited. Whoa, easy mic. Behave yourself. Did you, Pari, get wooed old school style?
What I was saying, contrary to what you were mentioning, like, I think the point of the app, is, I guess, for you to meet, right?
Yeah.
And after you meet, it really depends on you or the other person if you want to see it go further, not like, if you like the person, if you're interested or whatever. You don't have to date immediately. In a way, it sort of works the same way because while you're getting to know each other, you're sort of wooing the person, not wooing the person. You know what I mean? So
it's kind of like arranged marriage.
Yeah.
Or an OTT free trial. OTT free trial, yeah.
Guys, show of hands, how many of you guys come from the MSN Messenger? Of course, you do, right?
I was there.
Yeah? You weren't even born then, right?
Maybe the question is ICQ or AOL.
Oh yeah, AOL even I wasn't, bro. I think my claim to fame was ASL, bro.
Yes,
I didn't say ASL. Like, it was, and I miss those days where you would spend months, and when I said, has it become too easy? And I'm going to ask all of you guys this because I want to know your point. Most of the youths, bloody youths. Brother, tell me, you come from the MSN days and then you spent a day on one of these apps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that time.
It was an hour.
Okay. But you dated enough to know what relationships are.
Yeah, old school type.
Old school, right? ASL और फिर 1.5 महीने आप उनसे बात कर रहे हो, गुफ्तगू हो रही है. There's late night chats, you're hiding from mom, which I mean, thankfully none of us.
Actually, by the time late night chats happened, there was Facebook for me. So like I was in the final stages of the ASL revolution.
Right.
The last thing I remember about Yahoo Messenger is that I could buzz someone if they aren't replying. Like that's all I used to do. Buzz.
But do you think there was a purer, for a lack of a better, purer sort of a relationship than what it is?
I mean, definitely, because there's you kind of uncover layers yourself, right? Rather than seeing the first layer right in front of you.
Right.
So it's like you start from scratch rather than seeing a brochure. Like you have actually no idea of what the person is.
Right.
Like it's literally like until I go to the showroom, I won't know what the car looks like.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely a change. But I honestly think that, especially in today's time, like how many parties are you going to, bro, to meet people? Like with everything. How are you going to do this? How are you going to do this old school romance? Where are you going to find these old school people partying the old school way?
Nice.
You're not going to find them. You're just confined at your house. Maybe you strike a good conversation with someone if you're lucky. Maybe that could help you like get through whatever's happening.
Right.
But other than that, I see this as the only promising prospect right now, at least in this realm of things.
Your thoughts on Anushi is easy doesn't have to be bad. It could be better. Like getting easier is better. Isn't that why you're on these apps as well? So that you save time and then you get what you would have got maybe with 1 month of hard work that we had to put back in the day.
I agree. I don't think easy necessarily means worse. One, and adding to his point, it's true. Where else are you going to meet people? Where am I supposed to go? Even if I'm in a bar, I'm not going to entertain somebody random.
Right.
And to be completely honest, I don't think this happened even pre-pandemic in Bombay. I don't think it's New York where you can just approach somebody and be like, hey, what's up? I thought you were cute. Can we have a conversation?
Yeah, I disagree.
Yeah, we don't
No,
have
it happens.
Of course it happens.
I mean,
Of course it happens.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, look at that. You're waiting to...
In fact, if it happens anywhere, it happens in Bombay.
okay, then I'm just going to have to draw from my personal experience and say that it hasn't.
Maybe we're not going to the right places.
Maybe.
Maybe.
What are these places that everyone's hanging out at?
Chino will tell you.
Come, you should, yeah. Again, like I said, I haven't gone out in a while. But apparently these things happen at the Daily in Bandra. But mate, I'm going to ask her what I ask you, Suvir. Is, yaar, old school romance आपको याद आता है, miss करते हो अब थोड़ा बहुत? Are you happy with what she said? Easy is good.
To be honest, I come from a generation where you said, the example you gave us, you got to put 1 month of hard work into it.
Right.
I come from the generation where I enjoy the hard work, right? It's fun. It's fun to roll your sleeves up, get your hands dirty, not knowing where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
And the concept of instant gratification, saying I got the swipe right, I got the swipe left. It's instant gratification. The concept of, okay, you've chatted with them for 5 minutes and then you want to get a beer, yes or no. It's instant gratification.
Correct.
Right? The concept of instant gratification doesn't exist with our generation.
Yeah.
Right? Our generation believes that we've got to roll our sleeves up, do the work. Whatever happens, happens, but the chase is as much fun as the end result is.
Right.
And that's the school of thought that I come from, to be honest. So I've always enjoyed it, and if things go well, they go well. If they don't, I mean, you continue with the rest of your life and you move on.
Would it be a fair assessment on my part to call these apps to get laid, or you think it's not a correct term?
I think that depends on the person using it. Like, I mean, it really depends on your conversation and what both of y'all, probably mutually agree to. If that's the case, then a lot of people want something casual when they're on dating apps, and that's fair. But I think you realize that while you're having a conversation with someone, and there are certain people that, maybe are looking for a relationship in specific. So I guess...
But it depends on the use case also, to be honest, right? Because if you really think about it, when on an app you meet somebody, it's transactional. It could be transactional, but you don't know the person. You probably have no common friends whatsoever.
Yeah.
Theoretically, if it doesn't work out, you're not burning any bridges. Versus like if you introduce me to a friend of yours and it didn't go well and it messed things up, then we have a common friend and then it could get awkward and stuff like that.
Correct.
So if you just fool around with somebody and then you don't necessarily follow up, then you've got a common friend, you've got a common circle, etc.
It gets awkward in the middle, right?
But if it's online, then it's purely transactional.
Has that ever happened to you in life when you got set up with someone who's through common friend and it's gotten sour? And
No, not really. But also, if you take 2 steps back and you go from Hinge to Tinder, which was the previous generation, Tinder came from Grindr. Right. So maybe even sexuality has something to do with it, because Grindr was is a gay app, I think, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
And with a lot of my homosexual friends who are on Grindr, what I believe is that the swiping is a lot more transactional. You could swipe, someone will come to your apartment tonight, you have a good evening, and you never see them again in your life. Sometimes you don't even know what their name is because you're not even obliged to put your real name there. Sometimes you don't even know what the guy looks like because they don't even have pictures of their faces there. So that's how transactional it could be, because the genesis comes from Grindr, which is the mother of
just two.
Yeah, the mothership of all apps, which is just two. I don't know if it's just two, but that's what the use case is, right? So that's where the lineage of apps comes from.
Nice. Taaruk, do you know what catfishing is?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, this has come up because of these apps where you put up a picture of yourself all dolled up and looking when you're actually
I think it was there before also, before the apps.
It's ज़्यादा थोड़ी होता था यार. I mean, it was there, of course. I mean, I remember.
Social media in general has sort of.
I think on social media, most people on Facebook and Instagram are people who you follow, are people you know.
Correct.
So you know what they look like.
Yeah.
Here, you want to hook up or meet strangers. Do you think apps, these dating apps, I'm not going to call them apps to get laid, but do you think these dating apps have kind of given birth to an accelerated rise in catfishing?
I mean, it's definitely increased. From my personal experience, I've reported about 30 fake profiles of mine.
Damn.
Like
In
maybe
the 1 hour you were on the app?
No. I actually just, like, my friends tell me that, hey, a friend of mine matched with you. I'm like, clothes wise? Like,
Okay, fair enough.
How exactly? But it has increased because of that.
Right.
There's no doubt. I mean,
using fake pictures or even just making yourself look, dolled up.
Yeah.
To the extent where you're unrecognizable from the actual person you are.
No, I've met some people like that. Like, in the sense, not even on these apps. Like, I must have just seen them on Instagram, and they might be guys, girls, anyone, but they look like Hrithik Roshan Dhoom 3, bro. Like,
like you got Hrithik Roshan Dhoom 3 and then Hrithik Roshan from
Dhoom 2. Sorry.
Dhoom 2.
Like, from statue to...
Correct. But tell me, what is your, in this day and age where things are, we've all agreed mutually that slightly more fast-paced, the chase is cut down a lot. What is your idea of romance today? For example, if you were to give me your ideal first date in this day and age, which is COVID and apps.
In this day and age,
Anji.
I guess an ideal first date would be something fun to do if possible.
Right.
Like, I mean, I don't know, go bowling on a Monday afternoon when no one's there.
Great first date.
It like kind of tells you a lot about them, like beyond conversation, like how they react to things and
Bowling
like,
on a Monday afternoon definitely tells them that you and them are both jobless.
yeah, but I mean, see, I'm like, I mean, for actors,
Sunday could be a...
Like, I don't know what day it is, like, but in the sense, it's all the same for me, so it's possible.
I know you're the nervous type, and I know this because the first time I met, just like her, you didn't make eye contact with me for the first half an hour. And the thing is, I met her at the airport and I hugged her thinking it's another friend of mine, so it got even more awkward. Yeah, bro, I literally hugged her because she looks exactly like her sister from behind. So I've gone, given her a tight, full-on hug. She said, "What up, creep?" And then cut to we were planning to go out together. And I was staying in her house for a week. But I know you are like that. And has that kind of changed with apps now? Do you think romance just gets quicker?
I don't know, it's not like I have too much experience in like meeting people on the app.
Don't worry, your mom's not going to watch this. You can talk freely. We'll make sure done.
No, but I think initially you're really nervous. But
Right.
I think the point of it is you're just meeting someone. Like, I think you want to be as frank as you are. So I think in the next 10, 15 minutes of maybe knowing them, sort of get a little calm.
I know, okay, this is calm. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying. But did that happen with you? And hi, Kunal. Did that happen with you and Kunal when you guys met?
Yeah.
Was there that slide on that drive?
Yeah, I mean, it's like he sat in my car and I'm like, okay, I'm actually hearing
Oh, you were
voice.
the... Wow,
I was the one
breaking
driving.
stereotypes. Killing it. So you took him for a drive, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
And was there like a little bit of awkwardness in the start?
Yeah, because I'd never heard his voice before. So I think...
So that's another... Wow.
I heard his voice on call. I'm like, okay, where are you? And he's like, okay, I'm here. And I was trying to navigate to get to him. And that was the first time we actually heard each other's voice. And I think that's when we realized, okay, I'm actually going and meeting someone I've never met before. And it turned out to be nice.
Do you think there is a right and wrong here? You should get to know someone before you get into a relationship with them or get into bed with them.
No, I really don't think there's a right and wrong. You do you, whatever works for you. Right?
Are you guys all in agreement with you do you?
Yeah.
Okay, which gets me to my next question is how the fuck can you trust someone you have never met,
That is true.
never seen? How, if I want to hook up, for example, right? How do I call someone home who I have no idea where they come from?
I guess, honestly, in today's day and age, I don't think there's a scope to hide much. Like, you Google the dude or the girl, and you will kind of find everything on him or her.
Okay.
I mean, there's from Instagram, Facebook,
Right.
LinkedIn. If you kind of at least know a first name,
Yeah.
there is a chance that you might just,
I
because
mean, in Bombay,
like you'll find mutuals, you'll find people, you'll just
Yeah.
you can.
I'm gonna get to a very interesting story based on what I've just told you. I'm gonna get their reactions first. Suvir, do you think it's dangerous?
So I'll answer this question in 2 or 3 parts. I think the first thing is you should be a secure individual yourself, right? There has to be a sense of personal security with who you are as a person when you're meeting randoms or unknowns or strangers, right? Because then you know that they can't poke at your insecurities, right? That's one challenge. The second challenge is that in India, most people, like a lot of young people still live at home with their parents, right? So there's a taboo to bring people home anyway, right? So then it's always a better idea to bring someone who you're more confident about than bring someone who you're less confident about, as number 2. Point number 3 is also you're bringing home a random on the first date. This example stemming from a one-night stand, assuming you're hooking up with them. So there's also the hygiene factor of hooking up with someone as well, which you can never verify, to be honest. I think predominantly when you put yourself out there, you have to be a trustworthy person, more or less, right? You can't put yourself out there and not be trusting. You won't get anything. It's like I can't go to a buffet and not be hungry. I'm not going to eat. What's the point?
That is
because online dating is a buffet, right? At the end of the day, there's so many choices. That's what she said. But you've got to pick what appeals to you. It's a buffet.
Yeah. Do you feel safe at all times on these apps? You're not scared of somebody, wolf in sheep's clothing, Hrithik Roshan, can't talk.
So, personally, I wouldn't go meet somebody unless I had enough information on them. So even with a short conversation with somebody, you know their name, you know where they work, you know where they live. I mean, Bombay is big. Getting from one side of Bombay to another takes about 1.5 hours. So I would try and meet people who live close by.
Right.
So you have a bunch of information on them. You can, like he said, Google anybody. If I have your first name and I know where you work, I'm going to Google you. That's going to happen.
Okay.
So yeah, and like I said, even profiles are verified, like the apps themselves verify profiles. So I think it's relatively safe, and you have to be a trusting person, right? And in my personal experience, most people are very honest.
Most people are very honest.
I mean, at least the people I've met, they've been
I love
honest.
the world you live in. Most people are honest.
I mean, and also if you're intuitive enough, you'll be able to tell when someone's being dishonest and just not go meet them.
Except for the guy who catfished you.
Yeah.
I mean, he was still who he was. He was just
a fatty dude.
Version of
But you know,
himself.
actually, that's true. In order for these apps to survive, like the success rate's got to be higher than the failure rate, right?
Correct.
I mean, that's the only reason everybody uses them.
No, it's desperation, bro. People use them because they're desperate.
Interesting.
But I'll tell you one thing. A lot of people get on these apps to maybe have one good dinner with someone who you've never met before. It doesn't have to lead to anything romantic.
Who are these people?
I put my paper, I'm like, कौन है ये बंदे?
Good dinner.
एक अच्छे तंगड़ी कबाब के लिए कहीं भी पहुंच जाएंगे.
You meet someone new, like, you know.
Feel like a good dinner. Swipe left.
Swipe.
No, you know what I mean?
I actually don't. Did you join these apps for a free dinner? I'm guessing not,
I've
right?
paid at least half my portion on all my dinners.
What do you
I
mean
don't
free,
like
huh?
to,
Big ups, buddy. Big ups. You take your boy for a drive, you pay for the dinner. I love it. No, but this is a story I want to tell you guys about. There's a friend of mine, you actually know her. Very good friend, comes from a very good family. I'm not going to name the app she was on. Matched with a guy, very good family. She's gone to his house, met his parents, met his sister. Right? They started dated for 2-3 months. Right? I get a call at 2:30 in the night, and this girl is howling, saying, "Come home right now." That guy has stolen over 2.5 lakhs from her bedroom. Okay? And then has sort of physically and emotionally abused her. And then it's not like they ran away from the city. She's gone and confronted that family. And that family has blamed everything on the girl. right? And this is what took again, it's an anomaly. I'm guessing this hasn't happened to any of you all or anyone you all know, but this is somebody I know and care about deeply. And that literally, I mean, not that I was on any of these apps, took my heart. I'm like, dude, this is way too unsafe.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other ways to find love. There are other ways to find sex if that's what you're looking for. But I think to sum it up...
before you summarize, we should ask you one question because you're the only married guy on the panel.
Shit, what's up, buddy?
The biggest, no, I shouldn't say biggest, but one of the new trends and use cases for these apps are married couples either getting on together or partners from married couple relationships getting on apps.
Right.
What's your point of view on that?
So I have promised you a number of times, Ria and Ria have said, let's just go on it for fun. Is just we haven't actually gotten to it. I'm a bhattu when it comes to these things. Aisa bolne ke liye I'll bark a lot. But then the moment you give me the app. So having said that, no, I think I would love to check it out. And some part of me is upset that I didn't get to be part, because it's a new world, right? And I love trying out new things, whether it's food, travel, whatever. So I would have loved to be in this ecosystem, in this universe for a bit, swiped my way through a few mistakes, and then who knows. But yeah, no, I don't think I would right now, bro. Bhattu. But guys, again, to sum it up, I'm just going to individually ask all of you all, do you think dating apps are ruining old school romance? Pari?
Maybe yes, maybe not.
I think you can be a little definitive.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, they are. Taaruk, brother?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I want to differentiate between romance and dating apps. Like,
Okay.
I think romance is something different altogether.
What is your
like? In the sense, the old school romance is romance.
Right,
you might
right,
find
right.
that romance through an app.
Right.
But like, if a person wants that, he'll find it. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's
Okay.
dependent on. I don't think the apps mess with romance. I think the apps just don't promote it straight on.
And do you believe you are a romantic guy?
Yeah,
At
fully.
heart, you are, right?
Fully.
You are
At heart, outside heart, everywhere.
everywhere.
Matlab, it's hopeless.
I love it. How about you?
I have to agree with him. I don't think the apps are ruining romance. It's just what you're looking for, right? And even if you look at the different dating apps, they're positioned in different ways, so you can do whatever you want. Like if you're on Tinder and you just want to hook up, you can go do that. If you look at Hinge, their tagline is made to delete, right?
Yeah.
And they promote like long-term relationships, romance. So it just depends on you as a person. And if you're seeking that, then that's what you'll find.
Suvir?
I think the culture of dating has changed fundamentally. People may
Right.
not be looking for romance anymore. People may be looking for quicker gratification, faster entry into relationships or into hookups, whatever it is. Maybe
Right.
people don't enjoy the chase as much because it's too painful.
Right.
I think it's a change in culture. Maybe people's tastes and preferences have changed. Though I think I still stick to my ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I stand by you when I say that just like a big cat, some of us like the chase and some of us are hyenas who just like to eat what's delivered to us. But that was the podcast, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions and what you thought. And if you haven't already, do like this video, share it with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is manslife.in. Do you think there is a right and wrong here? You should get to know someone before you get into a relationship with them or get into bed with them.
No, I really don't think there's a right and wrong. You do you, whatever works for you.
Right.